Hey, what's up, YouTube family and friends? Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Happy Worship Leader, where we talk about how worship leaders can look forward to Sundays. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button below. Like this video if it's helpful for you, and please leave a comment for any kind of video that you want to see about worship leadership and ministry. I'd love to be able to talk with you in the comments and make some videos that maybe would help you with your ministry if I can. I only know so much. But today I want to talk with you about something really important to me, something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's this, the Worship Team Handbook. Some people call these things field guides or info packets. The sacrilegious call them Bibles. But whatever you call this thing, it's just really helpful. I put some information here that's been helpful for our worship team. It's helped me handle conflict. It's helped our team play nice with each other. It's helped us know what's expected of us and how we can approach Sundays with intentionality and the best heart possible. So I just want to share with you 4 things that I've included in my handbook for our team, and maybe they'd be helpful for you with your ministry. Write a personal message. It was really important for me to start off our handbook with a note from me, because the tone I wanted to set with this handbook is not that it's not just a set of rules or anything like that. This is my team's pastor talking to them, and I wanted to keep it relational. I wanted them to know that I'm thinking about them and about our team. I'm not just a manager looking for results, although I do want great results, but we're a family together and we're a team and we work together. So it was important for me, before I talked about any expectations or anything like that, just to say, hey, Riley here, I love you guys, I love our team. This book is for this reason, and enjoy the read. And I just signed my name and had a little picture of myself and my contact info. I always feel like it's really helpful for my team just to know exactly how they can connect with me, so that if they don't hear from me, at the wee hours of the morning, that they're not like, how dare him not reach out to me? But I put my phone number there, kind of like the hours when I'm available, how often I check my phone, all that kind of stuff. I just want them to know that I'm here for them. That's the whole point of the message, is just to let them know that Pastor Riley cares about them and sees them. And that's the whole purpose for this handbook. Give your band an identity. If your worship team is comprised of volunteers, which praise God for our volunteers, but if you have a team that's not on staff and they're volunteers, then you've probably come to understand that it takes a long time to build culture with your team. You're seeing these volunteers maybe twice a month, at the least, maybe once a month. If somebody's out of town, you're seeing them, you're missing a whole month with them. It's hard to develop an identity and a culture when we're not all together all the time. And so the great thing about a handbook is that you can kind of lay out, beforehand on what the culture is going to look like, how you're going to lead, what they can expect from you. In our handbook, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pages that are just about culture. I have one about expectations, which I'll talk about here in a second. But most of it is just like kind of saying who we are. That's actually what the first page says, who we are. But I talk about some key values we have about being consistent and current, which means that we serve a few times a month, punctual, prepared, plugged in. We're plugged into the church. Talk about what we wear on the platform, which I know sounds totally lame, but it's kind of helpful for some people just to know, what do I even wear? How we move, how we maintain our space, about practice, memorizing our songs, all kinds of good stuff, just to kind of get out ahead of a culture that could become weird and funky. If you don't feed a culture with good values and good practices regularly, things just get toxic and bad, and people start to not trust each other. But when you have a set of kind of guide rules almost, you can kind of give yourself a bit of identity, some boundaries to play within. It's just helpful for everybody, I really believe. So I like having a few pages just about who we are, what we do. I found that it sets our team up for success, and it kind of lets them know ahead of time, like, do I want to even be a part of this culture? Do I like the identity that they have? And if they do, then you have something to kind of lay it out here. Lay out expectations. Okay, this is one of the parts of your worship team handbook that isn't always the most fun thing to write, but it is one of the most helpful things. It's helpful for your volunteers so they know exactly what you're hoping for and looking for when it comes to their participation with the worship team. And it's helpful for you because it kind of does some of the talking for you. Yes, we talk about what we want to see in the culture with the team and we demonstrate it ourselves, but to have it in writing so that you can reference and so that people can see as well is super helpful because I don't know about you, but my team forgets. I forget. Sometimes the expectations just slip a little bit and it's nobody's fault necessarily. It's just that things slip. So to have it written down is just so helpful. So I've just chosen to have one page. I think I have 9 things on the document. It's just a really simple sentence with a little bit of explanation. And this is just to help the team know what I'm expecting of them when it comes to the worship team. The way I came about this list was really simple. I thought about the dream volunteer. What do they do? What do they not do? Write that down. And then I thought about the problem volunteer. What do they do? What do they not do? And I just kind of compared both things in a couple columns and then wrote some expectations, just kind of combining what I do want to see and don't want to see. I always try to lead with the positive, what we do want to see, and just kind of reference the negative if I have to. But that's how I came up with our expectations, and they've been really helpful for us. And so even, a couple weeks, couple months after I've released this handbook to our team, I've already had to reference it. I've already had to have conversations about it with people. It's not a Bible, but a great handbook, and great to have those expectations just laid out for everybody. So do your team and yourself a favor and write down what you want to see. Provide examples for inspiration. It can be hard to know exactly what kind of musical style you're aiming for. And I don't think you have to necessarily choose just one kind of sound for your team. I'm passionate about that. I want to see us making music that sounds kind of modern, big band, full instruments, great textures and sounds. And so for me, with having people who are coming in and out all the time, it's really helpful to have some kind of North Star musically that we're all pointing to, because when you have a lot of different people, you have a lot of different interests and tastes, and that's good. You should be able to bring influences that you have into the worship environment. But if you have somebody who's into jazz and into hard rock and a punk band and contemporary listening, you throw them into a worship band and don't give everyone like some kind of, hey, this is what we're aiming for kind of direction, it can just get kind of confusing, and you have clashes that happen. Maybe you've experienced that. So in our handbook, I've put out just 3 references, really easy to find on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever, so that at any point in time, my volunteers can go online and find what kind of style we're going for. So this has been helpful for us because not only is it helpful for my worship team band members, it's helpful for our sound team, production team, anybody who's involved with the music and sound and video that we're looking for. These inspirational, suggestions have been great for us. Okay, so that's my handbook. I hope that's helpful for you guys to know kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm sure I'll be tweaking this over the years and over the months to come, but a really helpful start point. And so if you'd like to download the PDF that I use for my team, you can do that right here in the description below. I hope it's just helpful for you as you're crafting your handbook. So again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Would love to be able to have you join us as we just look forward to Sundays. Rather than being overwhelmed every single week about what's coming up on the weekend, I would love to see you guys and myself continually excited about the church, gathering with the people and helping them experience Jesus through our worship times. So have a great week, a blessed Sunday, and I'll see you next week for the next video.